Hey guys, Dr. Kori here. Welcome to your motivational mastery session. Hey, today I wanted to give you a list of powerful questions that you can really use to prompt some personal reflection time, okay? If you don't already have a regular practice of checking in with yourself, I really encourage you to start. There are many reasons this could be important to you. You know, establishing a discipline of self-development and of self-discovery can lead to a number of positive outcomes and positive processes in your life. If you find, for example, that you keep doing the same things repeatedly and ending up in the same negative place and having the same not so comfortable emotions and having relationships end and really struggle, then these questions can help shine the light on a number of your blind spots, which, by the way, we all have, and many of them. So what they will do is they will open the door for you to really take stock of your personal belief systems, of your tendencies for behavior, of your patterns of thinking and patterns of feeling, okay? Your patterns of attitude and mindset that you tend to adopt under certain circumstances and in various situations and in different contexts, because we're not the same people all the time with the same people and in different places. We just aren't. We have multiple identities, we really do. And that doesn't mean there's anything seriously wrong with us. The context is key. And these questions will help you develop an understanding of how you are in these various contexts. So, just so you know, guys, these are the same questions that I ask my mindset and motivation coaches at the Diet Doc that I mentor to ask themselves so that they can become the best coaches possible, all right? Now, if you're listening and you're a coach, if you are focused solely on helping clients, but you're not taking the time to understand who you are and where you've come from and how you've been and who you want to be, then you're doing your clients a disservice, okay? We are not going to be the best we can be unless we begin to understand and know ourselves on a deeper level, because that's who we bring to our clients. And so if we're unaware of that and we don't have a level of intelligence around it, our client relationships and our clients' lives can suffer as a result. So here they are. This is where you grab your journal and a writing utensil to take these down. And I would suggest that I believe that I have 12 questions I'm going to give you, that you take a week for each question, or you can take a day if, self-reflection is old hat for you and you give yourself a certain amount of time every day already to do something like this. But give it a week or give it a day or give it a few days, and let each of these questions kind of be your guiding observation, okay? So you could wake up in the morning, read the question, and as you go throughout your day and, when you interact within your relationships and you're at work or you're at school or doing whatever you do throughout the day, just kind of let it be in the background and start noticing, start observing, all right? And have fun with it. Let this be fun. Let this be a curious endeavor. Because you're really kind of on a scavenger hunt for self-knowledge and understanding. I think that's pretty cool. So here we go. Here's number 1. What is my approach when I feel stuck? What is my approach when I feel stuck? Number 2, In relationships where there is a feeling or a level of tension, okay, or disagreement, or there's conflict, how do I tend to respond? In relationships where there's tension, disagreement, or conflict, how do I tend to respond? Do I have a tendency, for example, to judge the other person? Do I have a tendency to judge myself? Do I have a tendency to dismiss the other person or myself? Do I put the other person or myself first? And then the other piece of this is, do I have compassion for who the other person is? And again, then for myself. So do I have a tendency to judge the other person or myself? Do I have a tendency to dismiss the other person or myself? Do I have compassion for the other person and or myself? Question number 3. Where would a bit more courage, say 5 to 10% more courage, make the greatest difference in my life right now? Where would 5 to 10% more courage make the greatest difference in my life right now? Number 4. How do I view change? What's my first response to change? What's my second response? What happens after I have that second response? What do I do? What do I think? How do I feel? Number 5. When I encounter something difficult, okay, what is the process I use to respond to the situation? What is your process? Maybe you don't have a process. Maybe you're just impulsive. Maybe you fly off the handle. Maybe your first response is no, not no. I don't know. So when you encounter something difficult, what is your process for responding or reacting? We can react impulsively, we can respond thoughtfully. Number 6. What is my definition of collaboration? What's my definition of collaboration? Does it involve agreement? Am I comfortable in situations where someone disagrees with me, where there are noticeable differences in how we view things or the beliefs that we have? In situations like that, how do I respond? What's my definition of collaboration? What are we on? 7? Number 7. Where might I aim for greater connection and understanding versus being right? And when I say that, I imagine all of you thinking about conflict in relationships and how you move into that conflict and whether or not your aim, your target, your intention, your motivation is to prove that person wrong. In other words, to make it so that you're right. And I'll tell you this, if that's your aim, you are really going to hurt a lot of people in your wake. Okay? In relationships, if that's your aim, that person is going to walk away feeling small. And if that's your goal, okay. But I would encourage you to kind of pick another goal. Because relationships don't thrive in that sort of environment of shame and smallness. They thrive in trust and safety and connection. Okay? So that question was, where might I aim for greater connection and understanding versus being right? I think we're on number 8 now. Am I actively engaged in developing greater consciousness, okay, about the world around me, about my internal landscape, the things that go on inside of me, my thoughts, my feelings? Do I know about emotions? What are they? Can I name them when I experience them? Okay. Do I get what's going on regarding the sensations that are in my body? Okay. Do I have a sense of those? Do I know or have an understanding of my biases? Okay. My blind spots. Have I asked people who are important to me to share with me where I may be going wrong with things and how I come off in certain times or in certain spaces or situations? How am I perceived? I want to know this stuff. So again, the question is, am I actively engaged in developing a greater consciousness around the world around me and my internal landscape and the lives of others? Okay. Pause me if you need more time to write that down. I think we're on 9. So here's a big one, and I've shared with you why this is so important in your life to be focusing on, and it's what are my strengths. And these are character strengths, all right? And they have a lot to do with what your virtues are. And it's important to get to the heart of what your character strengths are, because those who consciously think about and act in ways in which they utilize their character strengths, they experience more positive emotions. Okay, they have more robust and connecting and trusting and loving relationships. They feel a sense of meaning and purpose in their lives in a way that others who don't have any knowledge of their strengths, or maybe know about them but don't use them, don't. All right? And they feel this greater sense of energy and engagement for life itself. They're excited about the process of life, the evolution of life. You know, what's ahead of them. There is some level of course, uncertainty with what life has out there in front of us. And those who focus on their strengths are less, I think, incapacitated by that level of uncertainty. All right. So what are my strengths? Look at this from the perspective of talents too, of the skills that you've developed. Consider what others have complimented you about. And then ask, how regularly do I call upon these talents and skills and strengths? And think about your resources too. Okay, not just money resources, but friend, connection resources, time resources, and energy is a resource as well. How regularly do you call upon those capacities during challenging situations? Okay. Number 10, and I really like this one, and it can be contextual too for you, maybe. Where does pressure come from? This is a question that I started really pondering when I heard it asked by Michael Gervais. And he's a sports psychologist that I really admire and follow. But where does pressure come from? Because depending upon your sort of worldview and your take on how growth kind of occurs for humans. Like, do I have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? Where do and how do I attribute what happens in my life? Like, do I have kind of a, do I believe that I have some level of control and capacity to influence what goes on in my life, or am I kind of just a pawn in the universe? This question can get to the heart of those sorts of things and concepts. So where does pressure come from? Number 11 is, what is one word or phrase that represents my most important understanding of the world? Mind blown, right? I think if you don't think too hard, if you don't overthink, this will probably come to you pretty quickly. But then let it marinate again in the background and see what else bubbles up for you as you go through your life. Okay? And here's the final question. How, and when I say final question, it's just for this video. There are many more I could give you. But how would I define mindset? Don't go look it up. Don't go get the dictionary. Don't get on your computer and find it in Wikipedia. How would you define mindset? It's not necessarily any right or wrong. It's your definition. It could be anything that you want it to be, and you can change it in any way that you want to. So again, guys, those are the 12 self-reflection prompts that I would encourage you to start your self-development journey with. If you don't already have a regular practice, start one. Block off 10 minutes a day. Start with 10 minutes a week. I don't care. But if you want to be an individual who has an understanding of yourself in a way that's going to create a sense of meaning and purpose, and so you don't just walk around feeling like, well, I'm just a speck on the earth, and so it doesn't really matter how I act or how I feel or what I do or what I spend my time with, then this is really important. Here's to motivational mastery, guys. Thanks. Have a great week.